Hi YouTube, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. This topic just happened to just fall right into my lap. I have been wanting to do a colorism, pretty girl, um, privilege topic for a while. And then the whole Kiki Palmer and Zendaya um, topic came about. It was on Twitter. So it's going to take me a minute to unravel this. So I don't know how long this video is going to be. Now, my first experience with colorism was when I was in kindergarten. And I had a very fair skinned teacher. She's passed away now. She died the year I went into the first grade. But honestly, she didn't need to be a teacher with, how she treated me anyway. But she was a very fair skinned black woman with, from what I remember, she had brown hair and green eyes, and I was the only black kid in the classroom, and she treated me like dirt. Now I'm 5 years old, 4 or 5, and I can clearly see that she was treating me much differently than the other children in the class. She made it a point for me to be the last in line every single time, just a nasty person. So that was my first experience with colorism. I mean, and I realized that colorism is typically like, within each race bracket. But again, she was black. She was just very fair skinned. And I have to admit, as I got older, I never really had an issue with colorism with my skin tone. Um, Obviously, and we've all seen it, very fair skinned black people and very dark skinned black people have a different experience in and of themselves. So I can't speak from a very light skinned person's point of view, and I can't speak from a very dark skinned person's point of view. But I have seen their attitudes and all of that in action, most definitely. And I know that it stems from being picked on and, stuff like that. Now, over the years, I've had light skinned friends, and one of them told me years ago, she said her grandmother told her, the darker skinned women are going to hate you because you're light skinned. And I think with the whole, I'm going to go off just on a quick tangent, with the whole Kiki Palmer and Zendaya, I don't know her last name. I think it was another reason to cause division in our community. But it is something that does go on and is very real. So I'm going to give some examples. Um, Eddie Murphy was notorious for this. If you notice a lot of his movies, his older movies, the lighter skinned woman was the sought after woman. She was the more milder, sweeter, feminine, whereas the darker skinned women were more aggressive, more whorish, or whatever. And, we expect that from other races, but at some point we have to um, be accountable for what we do in our own race when it comes to the color aspect of everything. But it's not going to go away because it's like very ingrained in us. It is. And so I wanted to let's talk about the light skin privilege first, because I do see that at work. The lighter skinned women pretty much can do whatever they want. But that can also be slash pretty girl privilege too. She doesn't necessarily have to be light skinned, just young, you know, with superficially made up, the eyelashes, the big butt, and stuff like that. But we're talking more specifically about the light dark scenario. But I have seen usually darker skinned black men just fall over themselves over light skinned women. And now this is not coming from a place of being a hater, it's just an observation. And this is a very delicate topic because the first thought process is, people will assume that you're talking from a hater standpoint. But over the years, half of my friends were light brights, damn near whites. So, and there was no jealousy there. So this is not coming from a place of jealousy. It's coming from a place of observation. Then you have like the very dark skinned people who have a chip on their shoulder and ready to fight. And I get it because they've probably they were subjected through ugly names growing up. And so I get it. They're not going to, just keep taking it, even if it's unprovoked, because I've dealt with those too. They're mad at the world, ready to fight the world, because of how they were treated growing up. Then I used to work with this white lady. It was an older white lady who had biracial granddaughters. And they had full black siblings. And so the lady used to tell me that those siblings treated her granddaughters like pure D trash, garbage, you know, and I know it was due to jealousy for whatever reasons. I didn't know these kids, although I did see her granddaughters, I think in person once or twice. But again, this is something that we have to work on within our ranks, but it's not going to happen. Like I said, because first of all, people have preferences. And the other day, I listened to this one video. It was from another YouTuber, and it was heartbreaking to listen to. And this lady, dark-skinned lady, I guess on the fluffy side, overheard her husband on their honeymoon telling his female friend and his guy friends that he was not attracted to her. And it was heartbreaking to listen to because, your mind is what goes through your mind to hear your husband talking to his friends, and especially a female friend, saying that he's not attracted to you. But on the flip side, there had to be some red flags. I can't believe that there were no red flags. I know men can be good at pretending and all of that stuff, but sometimes the truth leaks out in certain ways. So I don't know if there were no red flags. I don't believe it. Now let's talk about pretty girl privilege when it comes to white people. Now, when it comes to them, usually their pretty girl privilege is skinny and blonde. Literally, that's it, And there was this one TV show I used to love to watch, go off on a tangent like I always do. It's called Are You Being Served? And it has, I don't have to bring this up, but it's just silly and it ties into what I'm talking about. So the men of the show, Are You Being Served? They worked for a department store. And so they had to each get a physical for their job. So they're standing around in the doctor's office and everything. And, they're just talking, milling about, not taking it serious. All of a sudden, this skinny blonde comes walking in. And so one of them goes, "Who is that?" And the other person said, "Oh, that's the doctor." So all of the men, including the gay man, threw themselves on the floor and started doing push-ups. And so the gay guy's like, "Wait a minute, why am I down here?" It was hilarious. But unfortunately, not unfortunately, it's just the fact of life. In our culture, the light-skinned woman is considered the pretty girl privilege. Like with white people, the blonde skinny is their pretty girl privilege. Now, getting to Kiki and Zendaya. You can check it out on Twitter, and just about everybody is talking about it right now. So somebody had said that the reason why, no, they wanted to know if Zendaya's career took off sooner due to her light skin. And Kiki responded with, basically, don't come for me. I'm an icon. I've been around for 20 years, et cetera, et cetera. And the killing part is Kiki is not that dark. How is she, in what world is she dark skinned? or darker skin. But as I've said before in other videos, it is not Hollywood's um, place or Hollywood's, what am I trying to say? It is not their responsibility to validate us in any way. This is where we come in. We perpetuate the light and dark. We do that. We really do. And it's also one sided. The woman is typically always light skinned, the man is always dark skinned. And as a person, when I was, growing up, I liked the lighter skinned guy. I mean, that was back in the 80s, light skin, the curly hair, the bow legs, the green eyes, that was in. And a lot of us like that. But those type of men were not really seen as masculine, and they weren't the sought after men when it comes to movies and stuff like that. You had a few. I can't even think of any really, but typically it's the lighter with the dark. But it's also the same thing in every culture, but I don't care about every culture. I'm talking about my culture. Again, we are the ones that perpetuate this light dark foolishness. And and like I said, it's not going to go away. It is what it is. But most importantly, love for self, loving your complexion, it has to start at home. It has to start at home, truly. And I'm going to talk more specifically for the very dark-skinned people. If you're a parent and you have a very dark-skinned child, it is your job, your responsibility to build them up. Not in a arrogant way or a, stuck-up way, but just let them know that they are loved and that they are just as good as anyone else. And honestly, we have all seen people that you can kind of tell, that they've been kicked about in life due to their skin tone. And a lot of times they take it out on, other people because they were victimized, so they're going to victimize. It's an unfortunate fact of life. It is what it is. I'm not making excuses for it because it is an ugly fact of life. But that is my video for today. Please check out my other videos. Subscribe if you like what I say. And thank you to my subscribers. And I will be back soon. Bye.